Romantic Tales. Chapter 495. Qin Chu saw everything clearly and felt bad for his brother-in-law. I told you that he and Huang Yu aren't a good match. They thought I didn't know and kept hiding it from me. I don't feel good about it. Young people have their own way of doing things. I don't think you should interfere too much. I didn't interfere, I just gave him advice. I can't do anything if he doesn't listen. I know what you're worried about, but Mian, you have to know that it's useless to tell some people to be careful. They'll only grow up if they fall, Qin Chu comforted her. That's true, but Jixin is my brother. I can't help but worry when I think about how he'll be hurt in the future. You're messed up because you care too much. Qin Chu pinched her face, his eyes full of adoration. Upon hearing Qin Chu's words, Huamin also felt that she was too sensitive about Jixin. He was old and had the right to choose who to fall in love with, but she always felt uneasy as if Jixin and Huang Yu weren't a good match. After leaving the old house, the two drove straight to a small farmhouse on the outskirts of Sea City. Gao Ran found this place. Apparently, it was a place where the police gathered for dinner. They could fish and eat there, and the environment was beautiful. When they arrived, Zhu Lingling and Gao Ran were already there and fishing. Of course, they couldn't forget to quarrel while fishing. Gao Ran, are you blind? Can't you see that my fish are about to bite? Why did you touch my fishing rod? Sis, it's your eyesight that's bad. It's just the wind, there's no fish biting. Let me tell you, I just fished in this area and nothing took the bait. You should go somewhere else, or else you won't be able to catch a single fish. I'm Jiang Taigong. It's none of your business if someone is willing to take the bait. Zhu Lingling rolled her eyes at him. Jiang Taigong, are they fishing for fish? They're waiting for Shibuoho. You should study more, it's good for you. Fuck you. If you're so good at studying, why didn't you go to Tsinghua University? Why did you go to a bullshit police academy? That's because I'm great. I want to be the police of the people, get rid of evil for the people and protect the peace of the area. Bullshit, you're just afraid of your dad. You're afraid that he'll break your legs. Gao Ran was speechless. Huamin's mood instantly improved when they heard the quarrel between the two clowns from afar. You two quarrel the moment you meet. Are you planning to quarrel for the rest of your lives? Huamin laughed. Why didn't you give me a call before you came? Come, let's go eat. I'm not fishing anymore. Gao Ran threw down the fishing rod and immediately pulled Qin Chu into the yard. Zhu Lingling also stood up. What took you so long? I'm starving. Both of us have finished eating. We ate at my house. You're home. You guys are home. Zhu Lingling looked at Huamian in surprise. Yes. Then your mother didn't do that, did she? What did she do? She didn't kick Qin Chu out, right? Zhu Lingling thought that Huamin's mother was terrifying when she lost her temper. She was 10 times scarier than her own mother. No, she didn't. Although she didn't look too good, she wouldn't kick us out. Huamin laughed. That's not bad, there's hope. He patted Huamin's shoulder and the two of them followed him inside. Zhu Lingling took out a bottle of perfume from her bag and handed it to Huamin. Here, a birthday present. Didn't you already give me a red packet? That was just an appetizer. I'm sure you'll like this. What is it? Huamin curiously took the perfume bottle. He looked at the label and was shocked beyond words. Lingling, this is? Huamin looked at Zhu Lingling in disbelief. Chapter 497. After Zhu Lingling's reminder, Gao Ran immediately understood. Then he turned around and took something out of his bag. There was no fancy packaging or bag, he simply placed it on the table. Huamin, this is for you. Happy birthday. Gao Ran's gift left the other three dumbfounded. Are you kidding me? Gao Ran, you're not serious, are you? Huamian looked at the gift in astonishment. Of course I'm not joking. I'm giving it to you from the bottom of my heart. This thing isn't easy to get. I had to give it to you for personal reasons. It's even numbered, so it's definitely authentic. It's different from those high-quality imitations you can buy online. You can't get it even if you have money, understand? Huamin stared blankly at the brand new pair of handcuffs on the table. He felt like 1,000 alpacas had run through his heart. It really was a pair of handcuffs. And it was brand new with a set of numbers. But who would give a birthday present as a gift? Was Gao Ran crazy? However, Zhu Lingling knew Gao Ran better than anyone else. She immediately understood what was going on. She laughed and scolded Gao Ran. Gao Ran, aren't you a little too mean? They just got married not long ago. Isn't it a little too extreme for you to give them S&M? Chin Chu, Huamin, what are you afraid of? This is fun, understand? Especially since they're newlyweds, they should try something new to improve their relationship. Huamin, don't be shy and don't be afraid. These are for Chin Chu, not for you. When the time comes, put them on Chin Chu and you can do whatever you want with them. You can choose any position you want, Gao Ran said in all seriousness. Chin Chu, Huamin, this is the first time I've seen someone give handcuffs as a gift, Gao Ran. You're really something else. Huamin sighed from the bottom of his heart. That's exactly what I want to do. I think you're just trying to save money. You cheapskate, you just don't want to give us expensive gifts. No way, you have to treat us to this meal today and you have to take us to Seductive Fox tonight. Otherwise, I won't forgive you, Zhu Lingling said as she pursed her lips. No problem. That's not a problem at all. But are you sure you want to go to Seductive Fox? You're not traumatized? Gao Ran admired Zhu Lingling. After what happened last time, she still dared to go to Seductive Fox. What are you afraid of? Do they want to die? Although Zhu Lingling was mocking Gao Ran, she couldn't hide the admiration in her eyes. Gao Ran was the youngest captain of the criminal police force in the history of the city. He had only been in office for a few years, but he had solved countless cases. Countless times he had confronted criminals and saved hostages. Needless to say, he was very adventurous. Although he didn't speak seriously, his character spoke for itself. I like what you said. Fine, it's just spending money, right? I'll be ruthless and take out a year's worth of salary to treat you guys to some fun. Gao Ran gritted his teeth and accepted Zhu Lingling's trap. Huamin smiled as she took the handcuffs. After fiddling with them for a while, she looked at Chin Chu and faintly said, "Honey, why don't you try it?" "I don't think that's a good idea, honey." Chin Chu slowly replied. "Oh, you two are so cruel. But seeing how harmonious you guys are, I'll swallow this pity." Gao Ran teased. Zhu Lingling suddenly asked, "Did you see the 400 million yuan mansion? When are you going to invite us over?" "Anytime." Huamin slightly smiled. After the four of them finished eating at the farmhouse, they sat around for a while before driving to Seductive Fox. As soon as the four of them sat down, the door to their private room was pushed open. A tall and handsome man stood at the door with 4 bodyguards behind him. "Chin Chu," he greeted. "Things go smoothly, it's called life. Things go rough, it's called experience." Actually, she didn't want to post on Sina Weibo, but she suddenly remembered that Suyu didn't have her WeChat. That guy gave her bullet shells and even set off fireworks. If she didn't say anything, it would be too much. Sure enough, Suyu saw the update and sent her a private message with only 4 words. "Happy birthday." Huamin also replied with 2 words, "Thank you." Although they were so polite and distant, Suyu felt happy because Huamin replied to her. He even posted on Weibo to express his gratitude. "Why are you smiling like an idiot? Did Imperial Star's stock price hit its upper limit?" Wei Liao looked at Suyu smiling as he held his phone and was very confused. "Oh. Then why are you so happy?" "Guess." Suyu looked up and smiled mysteriously. "Do I even need to guess? I can tell with my eyes closed." "What, did Miss Hua agree to have sex with you?" Wei Liao teased on purpose. Chapter 499. I want to go on a date with you, do you want to? Suyu glared at Wei Liao as he clenched his teeth. I'll pass. I like girls, not guys. Even if you're pretty, I won't do it. Suyu never thought that he would one day be so happy because of a normal Weibo post from a girl. Ever since he met Huamin, he suddenly realized that the world had become a better place. Even though Huamian wasn't his girlfriend yet, he felt that his life with her was different from before, where he spent all his time drinking and fooling around. At least he had something to look forward to every day. Huamin was like a drug that he couldn't get rid of. Once he was infected, he would be deeply addicted to her. Alright, back to business. I heard that Zhao Qingya suffered a lot in there. You know what a women's prison is like. It's much worse than a men's prison. Don't you feel bad for her at all? Wei Liao had always been a gossipy person, so he would talk to Tang Chuan and the others about things in private. They all knew about Zhao Qingya's situation in the prison. A certain rich kid's family was the leader of the prison, so they knew better than anyone else what kind of life Zhao Qingya was living in there. Feel bad? She's lucky that I didn't skin her alive. Suyu's eyes turned cold at the thought of Zhao Qingya. Luckily Huamin was fine. Otherwise, even if Xiao Qingya died 10 times, it wouldn't be enough to cover Huamin's life. Women could play tricks and fight with each other, but Xiao Qingya was so stupid as to use those scum in the mafia. Su Yu was infuriated. Luckily, Huamin wasn't an ordinary person. He was always able to stay calm in the face of danger and turn danger into safety. Therefore, Su Yu knew exactly what kind of life Xiao Qingya was in there. What he wanted was to torture her for 8 years. He wanted her to reflect in pain. Tisky. He really doesn't know how to be protective of the fairer sex. But that woman is also too much. Why did she provoke Huamin? I don't understand. Is Huamin someone she can afford to touch? Humans should know their limits. Otherwise, they won't even know how they died. Wei Liao sighed. Su Yu didn't say anything. He just picked up the phone from time to time and stared at the screen. She couldn't seem to get enough of the photo that she had inadvertently taken. In the VIP room of Seductive Fox nightclub, Qin Chu answered a phone call and kept talking about work. Gao Ran and Zhu Lingling, the two microphone hogs, kept hogging the microphone. Just pick whatever you want to listen to. I know everything. Zhu Lingling was a little drunk. She was wearing a short black skirt and a small leather jacket. She was standing on the coffee table looking crazy. You two sing Mortal Love Song for me, Huamin said seriously. Sis, can you do it? Yes. Zhu Lingling glared at Huamin, exasperated. You can sing the hottest ethnic trend for me too, Huamin added. Gao Ran was drinking beer. When he heard this, he almost spat it out. Qin Chu is your wife from Rabbit Nest Village in Mountain Valley Town. She's so tacky, okay? Who would listen to the hottest ethnic trend in this day and age? Gao Ran asked with a smile. Qin Chu was on the phone listening to an executive report from his company. Then he looked at Huamin lovingly. My husband has the same taste. Are you going to sing or not? If you don't know how to sing, just say so. Don't make excuses for yourself. Huamin deliberately laughed. Who said I don't know how to sing? Of course I know how to sing. The boundless horizon is my love. Zhu Lingling began to roar. She was already out of tune on the first note. Oh my god, this tune has gone to the South Pole. Zhu Lingling, do you dare to shut up? Gao Ran yelled. I don't dare, huh? Zhu Lingling stood on the coffee table, twisting her waist as she glared at Gao Ran. Her comical appearance made Huamin burst out laughing. Just then Huamin's phone suddenly rang. She looked down and saw the caller ID. Her expression changed. Chapter 500. After a moment of hesitation, Huamin still picked up the phone. As she picked up the phone, she walked out of the private room with her phone in hand. Hello? Happy birthday, Mian. Ning Ziyuan's voice was a little hoarse on the other end of the phone. Thank you. Huamin's voice was faint and distant. Mian, I miss you a lot. Ning Ziyuan, let me remind you that you are now Wu Xiaoshua's husband, and soon you will be the father of her child. Please remember who you are at all times. At this moment, Huamin wanted to laugh when she heard Ning Ziyuan say that he missed her. What was he doing when she needed his help so much? It was his nature to hit someone when they were down. Mian, I really regret it. I should have listened to your explanation back then. I shouldn't have doubted you, and I shouldn't have done those things to hurt you. I know you won't forgive me, but I still regret it, do you know? I don't want to give up and I don't feel good about it. God gave me such a good girl, why didn't I cherish her? Ning Ziyuan was probably drunk, so his tone was a little emotional. Huamin only listened quietly without any emotional fluctuations. In this world, there's no medicine for regret. Life is a one-way train and everyone has to be responsible for their own choices. Maybe this is fate. Thank you for your birthday wishes and don't call me again because we don't even need to say hello. After speaking, Huamin decisively hung up the phone before Ning Ziyuan could say anything. She was a very decisive person, and once she broke up with someone she wouldn't linger or dawdle. Plus, she couldn't become friends after breaking up. After all, she didn't have the heart to accept everything that had happened in the past. If it weren't for the fact that the number system was based on her real name, she would have changed her number a long time ago. Otherwise, Ning Ziyuan's call would have really troubled her. Fortunately, Qin Chu wasn't such a petty person. Otherwise, it would definitely cause a misunderstanding between the two of them. In the corridor of the nightclub, Huamin finished a call and was about to turn around and leave. Suddenly, a familiar voice came from behind her. Little sister Mian. Huamin didn't need to turn around to know that this person was Hua Xiqian, because he was the only one who shamelessly called her little sister Mian. Moreover, he had called her by that name for 7 years. He had actually known Hua Xiqian for 7 years. When she was with Qinchu, Hua Xiqian had unknowingly existed. Although Huamin had never acknowledged this identity, Hua Xiqian had persistently called him that for 7 years. Outsiders who didn't know would think that they had a good relationship because they called each other so intimately. Why do I see you everywhere? Huamin was speechless. He turned around and coldly glanced at Hua Xiqian. Hua Xiqian's orange shirt was unbuttoned and his chest was exposed. He looked very unrestrained. He had one arm around a big-breasted foreign girl, looking completely like a rich playboy. Who could tell that this was the president of the Hua Corporation, the famous young master Hua? It means that we're fated. Little sister Mion, I heard from the old man that you're coming back to the Hua Corporation? Hua Xiqian asked with a smile. Yeah. Huamin nodded and didn't hide it. That's great, welcome back. Aren't you worried that I'll go back with the old man to deal with you? Huamin looked at him in confusion. If you're the one who's going to deal with me, then I'm more than willing. Hua Xiqian smiled. Don't try to hypnotize me. Only a ghost would believe you. Huamin knew that Hua Xiqian was extremely intelligent and shrewd. Otherwise, he wouldn't have gotten to where he was today, controlled the Hua Corporation and forced the old man and his mistress into a corner. Therefore, Hua Xiqian's words couldn't be trusted. He was the best at putting up smoke bombs. After speaking, Huamin turned around to leave. Hua Xiqian suddenly walked up, took out something from nowhere and stuffed it into Huamin's hand. Take it, it's your birthday present. Hua Xiqian smiled casually. Chapter 501. President Hua, are you kidding me? Huamin didn't know whether to laugh or cry as he looked at the koala in his arms that wasn't even half a meter tall. The president of the Hua Corporation gave her a plush toy that wasn't even worth 50 yuan as a birthday present. She was speechless. Don't you love koalas? Originally, I wanted to give you a real koala. Please, that's Australia's national treasure, Huamin emphasized. I know it's not hard to get a friend to smuggle one over, but the hard part is that the koala has to come with a eucalyptus tree because it likes to eat eucalyptus leaves. The koala is easy to smuggle, but the tree is a bit more troublesome, so I'm going to give you a fake one. Hua Xiqian spoke nonchalantly, but Huamin was about to go crazy. He actually wanted to smuggle a koala for her. That was crazy. Although she really liked koalas, but wait a minute, even Qinchu didn't know that she liked koalas, so how did Hua Xiqian find out? How did you know that I like koalas? Huamin looked at Hua Xiqian cautiously. I guessed. I don't believe you. You can't do anything about it if you don't believe me. Hey, be a good girl. Hurry up and take your doll home for your birthday. Don't let your man wait too long or else he'll come out scowling at you again. Oh yeah, I hate that cold look in his eyes. After speaking, Hua Xiqian walked down the hallway with the hot girl in his arms. Huamin held the gray koala in his arms for a while, and finally pushed open the door. Why is there a koala in your arms? So cute. Zhu Lingling saw it and immediately snatched it away. Then she hugged it in her arms. Huamin sat down next to Qinchu, and after a few seconds of silence he slowly said, Hua Xiqian gave it to me as a birthday present. Fuck, he's too stingy. How could the president of the Hua Corporation give such a shabby gift? Gao Ran felt indignant for Huamin. Forget it. I don't have any relationship with him anyway. I won't accept anything expensive. It would be better if he gave me a toy. Huamin was calm. Qinchu glanced at Gao Ran and slowly said, Can you help me check if there are any bugs inside? After Qinchu finished speaking, the other three were stunned. No way. Huamin was a little scared. She really didn't think so much just now. After being reminded by Qinchu, she became nervous. Her relationship with the Hua Xiqian was a little delicate now, and Hua Xiqian might do something to her. Gao Ran then took the plush toy from Zhu Lingling's hands. Based on his experience, he looked through it. As expected, there was something hard in the koala's stomach. I found it. There really is something inside. As Gao Ran spoke, he reached out to touch it. Hua Xiqian, that bastard, how dare he do something to me? Huamin clenched her teeth, her face dark. Qinchu didn't say anything. He only watched Gao Ran's actions. After a lot of effort, Gao Ran finally took out the object in the koala's stomach. It was a square brocade box. It was dark red and it looked very classy. Why do I feel like this doesn't look like a bug? Zhu Lingling slowly said as she watched from the side. Huamin didn't say anything. He was also very curious to see what was inside. Speaking of which, how could Hua Xiqian be so scheming? How could he give a gift like this? If it wasn't for Chin Chu's reminder, no one would have thought that there was something else inside. Looks like a bracelet. After Gao Ran opened the brocade box, he took out a transparent white jade bracelet. Even if someone who didn't know about jewelry saw it, they would still say that it was beautiful. It looks expensive. Zhu Lingling touched it and thought that it was cool to the touch. Chin Chu stood up and took the jade bracelet from Gao Ran's hand. He glanced at it and slowly said, "This was bought at the jelly auction house last week for 8 million yuan. It's a Ming Dynasty imperial concubine bracelet. Apparently it was bestowed by the Emperor of Wanli." Chapter 502. Gao Ran, wow 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 wow, Zhu Lingling, 8 million yuan? Hua Xiqin spent a lot of money? Huamin, so it really wasn't a bug? Huamin asked worriedly. No, it seems like it's just a birthday present. I was overthinking it. Then Chin Chu handed the bracelet to Huamin. Huamin felt a little awkward. She picked up the bracelet and was about to walk out. I'm going to find him and give it back to him. Since he gave it to you, just accept it. Chin Chu was very calm. You're not mad? Huamin looked at him worriedly. Why would I be mad? He gave the whole corporation to you. Chin Chu smiled. He knew all too well how Hua Xiqin felt about Huamin. However, he didn't want to say too much. He didn't want to burden Huamin, so he sat down with his arm around her shoulders and comforted her. Yeah, since he gave it to you, you should keep it. If you don't want to wear it, you can give it to your mom. It'll be a waste if you don't want it. After all, Hua Xiqin spends a lot of money on girls every year. Zhu Lingling tried to persuade her. Huamin helplessly looked at the 8 million yuan bracelet. She didn't know what to say. She thought it was a stuffed animal, so she accepted it without any hesitation. Who knew that Hua Xiqin was hiding something so expensive in his stomach? Hua Xiqin was such a psycho. Hua Xiqin's gift gave everyone a false alarm, so they were no longer in the mood to continue playing. Everyone left Seductive Fox. Before they left, Rick came out and said something to Chin Chu. Huamian finally understood why Chin Chu had found out about her last time she was in danger. The boss here was friends with Chin Chu. It seemed like her guess was right. If Su Yu hadn't helped her last time, Rick would have been the one to help her. If Chin Chu hadn't helped her, Rick would still have helped her get rid of the flies that came to bother her. Inside the presidential suite of a certain hotel, Hua Xiqin looked down at the foreign woman underneath him. He was originally in high spirits, but suddenly he lost his desire. He got off her. What's wrong? Hua. The foreign woman was confused. She looked at Hua Xiqin. I'm tired. Okay, remember to call me. After the girl finished speaking in Chinese that was not very standard, she got dressed and left. Hua Xiqian's left. Was Hua and Hua. As expected, Huamin and the others arrived. He knew that Chin Chu had an unusual relationship with the boss of Seductive Fox. Therefore he had been waiting there for a long time. Finally he ran into Huamin. Huamian was happy that he gave Huamian the gift, but now he felt conflicted. Hua Xiqin took out a cigarette and lit it. Then he walked to the window with a white towel wrapped around his upper body. As he looked at the beautiful night sky, he suddenly thought of a scene from 7 years ago. Huamin was wearing a blue striped dress. Her hair was in a ponytail as she stood in front of a large glass window. She was seriously looking at a stuffed animal. It was a koala or a koala bear. Her eyes were so gentle. She even reached out to touch the koala. Even though she knew it was fake, she was still very interested. After that, he never saw any stuffed animals around Huamin. She didn't like all the dogs and pigs that girls liked. Even the most popular animals on the internet, Ollie and Beauty Bunny, she didn't like them. She liked koalas that looked silly and cute. He was the only one who knew this secret. He bought the half-meter-tall koala at a toy store a long time ago. He bought the jade bracelet at an auction last week. It was a birthday present for her. Hua Xiqin always had an image in his mind. It was of Huamin wearing a white cheongsam and a white jade bracelet. Huamin had a very good temperament. She had a classic charm and delicate features. She gave off an aura that could only be felt and not described. Unfortunately, Huamin didn't like cheongsams and had never worn one. Hua Xiqin gave her a jade bracelet in hopes that one day he could see her wearing a cheongsam and wearing it. Then she would amaze time and amaze him. The smoke from the cigarette floated in the air. Hua Xiqian's lips curled up slightly. Mian, how much longer do I have to wait for you? On the way back, Huamian sneezed. What's wrong? Did you catch a cold? Qin Chu immediately picked up the jacket beside him and covered Huamin's legs with it. Chapter 503. I don't think so. It's fine, I have a good physique. Huamin smiled. After the two of them went home, Huamin took a shower, exhausted. Then she rushed out and lay down on the bed. Her hair was still wet. Honey, get up. Why? Your hair is still wet. It's fine, it'll be dry tomorrow. Qin Chu. No, you'll catch a cold. Regardless of whether Huamin was willing or not, Qin Chu still pulled her out of bed. Then he took out a hairdryer and slowly dried Huamin's hair. Honey, are you treating me like a daughter? Huamin asked with a smile. I don't have a daughter as willful as you. Don't call me willful. It's my birthday today and it's not even past midnight yet, so I'm the biggest. Okay, you're the biggest except for your breasts. Qin Chu mumbled quietly. What did you say? Huamin turned around fiercely. I said, honey, you're the biggest and your breasts are so big. You're smart. Huamin smiled and turned around. She was very happy with her birthday, and the gifts she received from everyone were very special. Other than the handcuffs from Gao Ran, everything else was to her liking. However, she was a bit conflicted about the bullet shell from Suyu, because Suyu's promise was too precious to her. It couldn't be measured with money. The next morning Huamin was working the night shift, so she didn't have much to do during the day. After receiving a call from Hua Jinghai, she went straight to the Hua Corporation. During the board meeting, Hua Jinghai officially introduced Huamin to the Hua Corporation. The board members all knew that she was Hua Jinghai's illegitimate daughter, so they all agreed. Then Hua Jinghai gave 2.8% of the company's shares to Huamin, but she didn't have the right to control it. This was a premeditated plan, so Huamin didn't find it strange. Hua Jinghai just wanted to use her as a puppet to deal with Hua Xiqian and protect Hua Si. Xin Jiani gave Hua Mian a look, and Hua Mian immediately understood. So, during the morning meeting she said to Hua Xiqian, President Hua, I have a request. What? Hua Xiqian didn't look as carefree as he usually did. Instead he looked very serious, which was completely unlike him. I want to ask you to transfer Manager Hua back from the Philippines. After all, our corporation is short on manpower and it's only a small case. We don't need Manager Hua to stay there permanently, Huamin said slowly. When Xinjiani saw this, she immediately smiled and agreed. Yeah, President Hua, I think Huamin is right. The company is very busy right now. Si comes back, he can help you. Hua Jinghai listened quietly without saying anything. He was waiting to see Hua Xiqian's reaction. Hua Xiqian slowly turned the Hong Kong dollar in his hand as if he was deep in thought. After a while he looked up at Huamin and asked, if he comes back, will you take his position? Huamin was speechless. He didn't think Hua Xiqian would do this. Seeing this, Hua Jinghai quickly said, Xiqian, your sister just came back and isn't familiar with the business. If she goes to the Philippines, she'll delay a lot of things. Don't worry, we'll talk about it later. Of course, Hua Jinghai didn't say this to help Huamin. He was just afraid that his son wouldn't be able to come back and he would lose his helper. Hua Xiqian glanced at Hua Jinghai and suddenly laughed. Dad, I'm just joking with her. How could I let her go to the Philippines? What if she gets tanned? Upon hearing Hua Xiqian's words, Hua Jinghai and Xinjiani both let out a sigh of relief. Big brother, just let Si come back. Everyone misses him. Hua Yanyan couldn't hold it in anymore. Hua Xiqian glanced at Huamin and asked, Little sister Mian, are you speaking from your heart? It's your first day back, so I'll give you face. If you want Si to come back, then I'll let him come back. The hot potato was once again in Huamin's hands. Although she didn't like Hua Si, her plan had just begun. She couldn't go against Hua Jinghai right away, so she had to at least give him some benefits first. Therefore Huamin nodded. President Hua, please approve. Approve. Hua Xiqian waved his hand and was extremely straightforward. Xinjiani and Hua Yanyan were immediately overjoyed. After the morning meeting at the Hua Corporation, Hua Xiqian glanced at Huamin. Come to my office for a second. Chapter 504. Huamin only wore a white t-shirt, a red windbreaker and black pants. She didn't look very formal, but she was full of youthful energy. She didn't look like a 24-year-old girl at all. Instead, she looked like a college student. President Hua, what's up? Huamin didn't want to interact too much with Hua Xiqian, so she went straight to the point. You're on the old man's side now? Hua Xiqian asked with a smile. Yeah, didn't you see it? You're so stubborn. Hey, let's not talk about this. Did you like the koala bear from yesterday? Of course, who wouldn't like an $8 million koala bear? Huamin purposely looked up and said. Huasiqian immediately laughed out loud. What are you laughing at? I'm laughing at how direct you are. Of course, I don't like to beat around the bush. I'm not like you guys who have to be so secretive when it comes to giving me gifts. If I didn't do that, would you have accepted it? It's called scheming, understand? I understand. I've seen how scheming President Hua is. But you can't be cheated on. You're giving me such an expensive gift because you want me to help you deal with the old man, right? No, I alone am enough to deal with the old man and his people. Huasiqian shook her head. Then you. Who I give gifts to and what I give is purely up to me. Don't feel burdened. You've managed the Hua Foundation very well. If it weren't for your strict supervision, I reckon that a lot of the funds flow would be unclear. After all, there's not much left after layers of skimming. Although I don't often ask about it, the accounts are clear at a glance. Just treat it as a reward from me. Really? If that's the case, then I won't hold back. Huamin replied. With me, you don't have to hold back, Huasiqian said. Then she turned the globe and seemed to be deep in thought. Is there anything else? President Hua, if there's nothing else, I'll be leaving. After she walked out of Huasiqian's office, she was stopped by the female secretary again. Miss Hua, the president asked me to give you some skincare products developed by the company. What is it this time? Huamin was confused. It's a facial mask this time. The president said you got a tan. Huamin, subconsciously she touched her face. Was it dark? She wasn't exposed recently. Hua Hua Huamin and Hua Hua, Xian Hua Xian Huasiqian. Hua. Although she had returned to the Hua Corporation in name, she was only a director in name and did not participate in the internal work. And Hua Hua, S. Of Hua 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 and, S have a Gid Huat. She Hua and it. Charity had its benefits. Huasiqian's charity had a good reputation and made a lot of contributions to the city. The government granted a piece of land to Huasiqian and exempted them from paying taxes this year. Huasiqian was really making a big deal out of nothing. She knew that Huasiqian would never make a losing deal. In his office, Huamin was reviewing the medical records of new patients while watching TV. Suddenly a piece of news came on. Imperial Star Entertainment recently invested in a teen idol movie, Chasing You 99 Times. The female lead was a B-list actress, Jian Tong. Huamin had a bit of an impression of this woman. She had acted in a few spy movies before. She wasn't very pretty, but she was petite and cute. She stood beside Su Yu in front of the TV. The two of them were promoting the new movie. President Su, according to the grapevine, you've been chasing after a Cinderella. What's her occupation? Can you tell us something? Which girl is so lucky to catch President Su's eye? A reporter suddenly asked. Huamin suddenly became slightly nervous. She raised her head and stared at the big screen. Chapter 505. Su Yu smiled and asked the young reporter, which news agency are you from? President Su? The young reporter was clearly shocked. Go back and tell your boss that if he dares to ask stupid questions like this again, don't blame me for bankrupting him. Yes, my bad. I'm sorry, President Su. The young reporter was so scared that she quickly backed away. Please ask questions about the company's new movie. Thank you for your cooperation. Lisa immediately ran up to protect her boss. Huamin finally let out a sigh of relief. Luckily, Su Yu didn't say anything. She was really afraid that if she was exposed, she would have to live under the spotlight and the media every day. Then she would completely lose her freedom. After Southside was reformed and because of the Hua Foundation's help, it received a lot of praise. With more and more patients, Huamin became busier and busier. She was the head nurse, so she didn't have to work many night shifts. However, due to the increase in patients, she had to work overtime. Although it was tiring, it was fulfilling. A few days later, on Friday night, Huamin was about to get off work after a busy day. Before she walked out, she received a call from Zhu Lingling. Lingling? Girl, hurry up. Miss, slow down. What do you mean by hurry up? Huamin was confused. I want a ticket for the Night of the Lawrence Pearl. You have to get me one. Night of the Pearl? What the hell is that? Huamin didn't know what it was, but Zhu Lingling asked for a ticket. It really made her confused. Oh my god, miss, did you come from the mountains? You don't know about it? I don't know, Huamin immediately refused. Lawrence is the big boss of Las Vegas. Last year he custom-ordered a luxury cruise ship called the God of Gamblers. This ship cruises around the world and approaches ports at random times. They hold a 3-day party in port cities, also known as the God of Gamblers Night. Apparently, a lot of European and American singers and actors will be on the ship. Even the richest people and celebrities in the country will be there. So what does this have to do with me? Don't worry, listen to me. Lingling seemed very excited. Huamin put on her earphones as she got into the car and placed her bag on the passenger seat. Then he drove the Audi R8 out of the Southern Recuperation Center. I just got off the plane and I heard from a guest in the first-class cabin that the Gamble God is scheduled to land near our city at 8 p.m. tomorrow night. My goodness, that means we're going to have a luxurious dinner party here for 3 days and 3 nights. We've already sent out the invitations this year and I heard that there aren't many. There are less than 100 invitations in our city, and all of them are from successful people. Your Mr. Qin is definitely the most important person, so I was wondering if you could ask Qin Chu to get me an invitation. I see. Huamin finally understood. Girl, please, but that's a group of men's games, why would you go? Huamin didn't know what to say. She never liked to join in on the fun. I'm going to see my idol. I really like that handsome Western celebrity. He's so bad, so rebellious, he's so handsome. Zhu Lingling became more and more excited as she spoke. Okay, female pervert, I promise you as long as Qin Chu has a way to get you an invitation, I'll get you one. That's great, I love you. Okay, I'm driving now, talk to you later. After hanging up, Huamin smiled. Lingling still liked to chase after celebrities. What was so good about Western celebrities? Her English was good, but those people had different lifestyles from her. She was really crazy because of how many international marriages she'd had failed. Huamin didn't forget that she promised Qin Chu that she would stay at the South Hill mansion every Friday. When she parked the car in front of the mansion, a butler immediately came to open the car door for Huamin. Uncle Lee, I can do it myself. Huamin was embarrassed to see the 50-year-old man open the car door for her. A young lady, you must be tired. Uncle Lee was a butler that Qin Chu had hired from abroad. It was said that he was a very good butler. Huamin was just about to speak when she saw the Maybach slowly drive in. Qin Chu was behind her, but why didn't she see him in the rearview mirror? Chapter 506. Huamin jogged all the way to Qin Chu's car. As soon as he got out of the car, she immediately threw herself at him. She threw herself into Qin Chu's arms. Your car was in front of mine, why didn't I see you? Do you know how to make yourself invisible? Huamin asked with a smile. Only in front of Qin Chu could she see this childish side of Huamin. Qin Chu lovingly pinched her face. I got off from another highway. I went to D-City in the afternoon and came back from there. No wonder. When Huamin got off work, she was too tired to change her clothes, so she came back in her white hospital gown. She smelled like formalin. When she threw herself at Qin Chu, the smell stained his shirt. Honey, how dedicated are you to your job? You came back with the smell of formalin. What? You don't like it? Huamin half threatened her. No, I like it a lot. That's more like it. The couple chatted and laughed as they walked into the mansion hand in hand. Uncle Lee had already prepared dinner. It was Thai style and there was even pineapple rice that looked, smelled and tasted great. When Huamin saw the food, her appetite was whetted. Eat slowly. Qin Chu didn't know whether to laugh or cry when he saw how she ate. Then he thoughtfully handed her a glass of water. Huamin took a sip of water before she remembered what Zhu Lingling asked her to do. Honey, I have a favor to ask of you. Tell me about it, Qin Chu said as he elegantly ate his dinner. Ahem. There's a Knight of Lawrence's Pearl, do you know about it? Yeah. Qin Chu nodded. Lingling said it's a 3-day, 3-night night of the God of Gamblers. She insists on going, but she heard that there are very few invitations. So she asked me to help her get one. Do you have a way? No. Qin Chu directly refused. Huamin, how is that possible? You're the great Mr. Qin, honey. You must have an invitation, right? Huamin didn't want to make Lingling happy for nothing. Moreover, with Qin Chu's status and ability, it was impossible for him to get an invitation. Who would believe that? Qin Chu slowly put down the fork on the edge of the steak. Honey, I really don't have an invitation. How could that be? Huamin was a little disappointed. because she felt that Chin Chu's expression didn't seem to be fake. But when Huamin heard the word but, a glimmer of hope was reignited in his heart. But I don't need an invitation. I can bring as many people as I want. Fuck. Why didn't you say so earlier? You gave me a false alarm. Huamin was scared out of his wits. In the end, he realized that he didn't need an invitation because Chin Chu didn't need one at all. Face recognition. Face recognition was the proof of strength. I'm not done yet. Chin Chu smiled as he looked at Huamin. He thought that sometimes his Huamin was so silly and cute. So, Lingling, you don't have a problem with this? Huamin asked worriedly. No problem. Gao Ran will be there too. Ah, that's great. They're together again. I even suspect that they've discussed this beforehand. Huamin laughed. Honey, you should come with me tomorrow night. Me? I don't think so. I don't like to join in the fun. Huamin shook his head. He really didn't want to join in the fun. But I want you to go. Why? Huamin was a little surprised. Chin Chu rarely invited her to these boring and luxurious dinners. Chapter 507. Because this year's Night of the God of Gamblers is a test of IQ. So you want to test my IQ? Huamin laughed hysterically. No, I want to show off your IQ and let the whole world see how smart my wife is. Ahem. I'll give you 9 out of 10 for your flattery. I'm afraid you'll get too proud. So, you agree? But 3 days and 3 nights is too long. I'll delay my work. Huamin was still a little unwilling. I already called Wu Zhongxing. He wouldn't dare to disagree. Huamin, honey, is it really okay for you to threaten President Wu like this? Will he make things difficult for me? If he makes things difficult for you, then I think Wu Zhongxing doesn't want to be the director anymore, Chin Chu said slowly. Mr. Chin, does your wife know that you're so domineering? Huamin rested his chin on his hand and carefully looked at Chin Chu's devilishly handsome face. My wife knows because in bed I'm just as domineering. Huamin immediately covered his face. Was it really okay to flirt like this? Huamin really liked South Hill Manor. It was built with R&B. Plus, there were plenty of housekeepers and maids. It was an extremely luxurious lifestyle. However, she could understand why Chin Chu was so considerate. He wanted their child to live a good life. Inside the private mansion, Suyu swam around a dozen laps, exhausted, and walked out of the pool. Wei Liao handed him a towel, then he lay down on a chair and closed his eyes to rest. The night of the Lawrence Pearl. It'll be fun. I'm not going even if it's fun. It's not as fun as Las Vegas. If you think it's fun, then go with Tang Chuan. Suyu was obviously not in the mood. Trash? Come on, did you find out? Do you know if Chin Chu is going? Do you think he's trash? Chin Chu is going too? Suyu was suddenly energized. Not only is Chin Chu going, I think Huamin is going too. Who said that? I said it. Wei Liao was extremely confident. Suyu, do you think you're a god and can predict the future? When he heard Wei Liao say that he guessed, Suyu instantly lost interest. Think about it, after you get on the boat, you won't come down for 3 days and 3 nights. Chin Chu is definitely going because I asked someone to find out that you and Chin Chu are on the first row of the VIP list. From what I know, his assistant cancelled his schedule for the next 3 days, which means he'll definitely be there. Huamin is going because I think Chin Chu won't leave his wife alone for 3 days and 3 nights. Plus, there are so many actresses and young models on the boat. If there's a scandal, he won't be able to clear his name. Do you think Chin Chu is that stupid? Wei Liao's analysis was clear and logical, and Suyu thought it made sense. He suddenly sat up and took off the towel on his body. What are you doing? Wei Liao was shocked to see him like this. Suyu didn't say anything. Instead, he picked up his phone and dialed a number. Tell Lawrence that night of the Pearl I'm going. Wei Liao looked at his impatient expression and smiled. From now on, it seemed like wherever Huamin appeared, Suyu would target him. The next night at 8 o'clock sharp, Chin Chu, Huamin, Gao Ran, and Zhu Lingling appeared at the entrance of the luxurious cruise ship. Everyone else was showing their invitations. Chin Chu led them all the way and no one dared to stop him. They couldn't help but marvel at his power. Do you know what the winner of the Night of the Gambling God will receive as a reward? Chin Chu smiled meaningfully as he looked at them and asked. That's what I meant. It's impossible to count on the 2 of them, so I'm placing all my hopes on you. Honey, show off your super brain tonight and win the championship. Chin Chu deliberately teased Huamin. Yeah girl, we believe in you. Huamin, you're the best, keep it up. Gao Ran and Zhu Lingling also sang the same tune. Huamin suddenly felt a lot of pressure. Are you guys trying to kill me? Huamin asked anxiously. Qin Chu smiled and put his arm around Huamin's shoulder. Okay, I won't tease you anymore, let's go in. Qin Chu scanned his fingerprint and the four of them instantly received VIP cards. Needless to say, this was a money-burning night. Even the VIP cards were plated with real gold, so Zhu Lingling jokingly asked if they could take it with them when they left. However, the other three all rolled their eyes at her. They were already on the boat, so why would they care about the gold-plated card? Zhu Lingling was also useless. You can just rely on your looks to attract a rich guy, but if you take away the gold card you'll lose fans, Huamin said on purpose. Then he observed Gao Ran and sure enough he didn't look very comfortable. Ahem, yeah, why don't you just pick up a rich guy or something so that you don't have to come here for nothing, Gao Ran said against his will. Bastard cop, I dare you to say that again. Zhu Lingling was clearly unhappy as she glared at Gao Ran angrily. Suyu had seen Huamin a long time ago and his eyes never left him. It was just that her public display of affection with Qin Chu made Suyu's heart thump a little, so he was in a bad mood. Ahem, this Huamin is really something. He's always showing off his love. As the saying goes, those who show off love die quickly. So, I don't think they'll be together for long. I suggest you make a move soon, Tang Chuan laughed. I won't let you down. Suyu gritted his teeth and said one word at a time. Then he strode forward. After they got onto their beds, they took their gold cards and went to their respective rooms according to the room numbers on the cards. The cruise ship was 8 stories high. It was said that there was a bar, a gym, a billiard hall, a KTV, a nightclub, a restaurant and everything else. It was like a moving 5-star hotel. There was even a shopping mall, an indoor swimming pool and a mini golf course. It was extremely luxurious. How about I sleep in the same room as Huamin? Zhu Lingling suddenly suggested when they were going to separate rooms. Qin Chu, Huamin. Chapter 510. Zhu Lingling, is it really okay for you to interfere with a couple's love? Gao Ran looked down on her. But I don't dare to sleep alone, I'll have nightmares. Zhu Lingling pouted. Don't you have Gao Ran? I don't think that's a good idea, men and women shouldn't touch each other. Zhu Lingling smiled awkwardly. Don't worry, I won't do anything to you. Why are you being so pretentious? Even if you want to do something to me, I don't want to do anything to you, Zhu Lingling retorted. So, big bro, big sis, have you decided whether you want to sleep in the same room? Or do you want to sleep in separate rooms? Huamin asked with a smile. I'm fine with anything. Gao Ran pouted and didn't say anything else. I want to be with you, ahem. Qin Chu coughed at the right time. Zhu Lingling immediately changed her mind. I'll sleep in the same room as the stinky cop. I'll be fine with that. In the end, everyone was happy. Qin Chu had just arrived at the door of his room when he was called away by Rick, who also came to hang out. Huamin sat in his room for a while and felt bored, so he decided to find Zhu Lingling and the others to chat. However, he didn't expect to bump into Suyu in the hallway as soon as he walked out. The two of them faced each other and Huamin smiled awkwardly. Hi. She smiled and greeted him calmly. Perhaps she was a bit nervous, but her glasses slowly slid down. Suyu reacted quickly and caught the glasses. Then he slowly opened them and put them on Huamin's delicate little face. Tonight, you're very beautiful, Suyu said seriously as he looked at her. Ahem, don't joke around. Huamin thought that today's outfit made her look like she was going to the market to buy groceries. Suyu actually said that she was beautiful. How would she know that Suyu was into this? Maybe it was because he owned an entertainment company and had seen many women in the entertainment industry. I'm tired of those evening gowns, long legs, big breasts. Therefore, when he saw Huamin's childish student outfit, Suyu actually liked it very much. Especially the Mickey Mouse pattern on the shirt, Suyu thought it was cute no matter how he looked at it. If they weren't in public, if Huamin wasn't a married woman, he really wanted to force her into a corner and slam her against the wall. I'm not joking. I'm serious. Just as Huamin was about to say something, he heard Qin Chu walk over from behind and put his arm around Huamin's waist. Then he slightly smiled at Suyu. Honey, is this your friend? Suyu was a patient of mine when I was at Southside Recuperation Center. We're doctor-patient, Huamin explained. Oh, Before Qin Chu could finish, Suyu interrupted her. I'm sorry, I don't care who you are at all. I only care about the people I care about. After speaking, Suyu walked away as if he didn't want to say another word. Suyu is like that, don't mind him, Huamin said to Qin Chu with a smile. Okay. Qin Chu nodded. Then he hugged Huamin and went back to their room. Half an hour later, the Western restaurant began to prepare an exquisite buffet for everyone. More than 100 people sat in the spacious restaurant, eating high-end food and drinking fine wine. The atmosphere was very good. Near the end, a man with blonde hair and blue eyes who looked to be in his 50s walked to the center of the stage. Is that Lawrence? Gao Ran asked. No, he's only Lawrence's assistant. Right now we can't see Lawrence in person. He'll only appear at the last moment of the third day, Qin Chu said slowly. In 30 minutes I'll be waiting for everyone at the Cloud Hall. 50 people will be eliminated tonight. Good luck, he said in English. Many people sighed after they understood what he meant. They felt that it was too cruel to eliminate 50 people on the first day. 200,000 USD. How could the headquarters be eliminated so quickly? If they're eliminated, will they leave the cruise ship? Huamin was a little worried. He asked Qin Chu in a low voice. Chapter 5:11. You won't leave the cruise ship, but you'll lose the right to continue the competition. You can only be a spectator, Qin Chu said. Oh, that's good. Huamin was relieved to hear that the losers wouldn't be kicked out. Girl, don't worry. With your insane IQ, you won't be one of the 50 eliminated. Zhu Lingling hugged Huamin's neck and smiled intimately. Sister, I'm just worried that you'll be kicked out after you're eliminated. Huamin looked at Zhu Lingling helplessly. Haha. Gao Ran couldn't stop laughing. What are you laughing at? Don't gloat. Maybe you'll be eliminated earlier than me. Zhu Lingling stared at Gao Ran. Impossible. Although my IQ isn't as high as Huamin's, I won't be one of the 50 eliminated. I'll at least be able to last until the second day. Gao Ran was full of confidence. You're bluffing. Let's see how you'll die later. Zhu Lingling obviously didn't believe him. Qin Chu didn't say much. After the four of them had dinner, they went straight to the Cloud Hall. The Cloud Hall was decorated very luxuriously. It didn't lose to the casinos in Las Vegas. The ceiling was decorated with a simulation of the blue sky and white clouds, giving people the illusion that it was daytime. Isn't this idea copied from the Venetian casino in Macau? That's how it is. Zhu Lingling had been to Macau with her friends before, so she had been to the Venetian casino. Yeah, it's pretty much the same. Anyway, they're all big bosses in Las Vegas. They're all the same. Huamin nodded. After entering, the waiter at the door gave out 100,000 chips to the beauties. That meant that each of the 100 contestants had 100,000 chips. Then they sat down and played. After 2 hours, they would check the chips in their hands. Those with more chips would win. In the end, the 50 contestants with less chips would be eliminated immediately. What's the game later? Do you know? Huamin held Qin Chu's hand and asked softly. 5-card stud. Qin Chu moved his lips and said 2 words. Oh. Huamin nodded. It turned out to be such a simple game of poker. She had only played it on the computer before. He hadn't played with a real person before, so it was quite exciting just thinking about it. Then Qin Chu walked around the other 3 and said, in a while the 4 of us will act separately. We can't sit at the same table. We have to win against others. The more we win, the better. Only then will we have a chance to advance. But don't take risks. Don't bet everything on a single round of cards. Sure, no problem. See you later. Gao Ran was also very excited and eager to give it a try. Gambling was not allowed in China, so Gao Ran usually played computer games. However, it was different on a cruise ship. Ever since they boarded the ship had started moving. At this time, they were already in international waters and were no longer in the country. So, no one would restrict you from playing anything. Chapter 5:12. Thank you for your invitation, but I'm in a hurry to play. You guys can go first. Huamin smiled and declined Wei Liao's invitation. Then she slowly walked around and looked around. She found that many people could not hold back and had already sat down. Huamin wanted to try her luck. She saw that there was a table beside her that lacked a seat, so she sat down beside her. Opposite her was an elderly woman in her 50s. She wore heavy makeup and was slightly chubby. Her hair was tied up and she had a cigarette in her mouth. She did not look like a kind person. On her left was a bespectacled man in his late 30s. He was thin and average-looking. On the right was a bald man with a fat head and big ears. He looked to be in his 40s and was wearing a Rolex watch. The stench of copper filled the air. "Oh, a young lady is here. We can reveal our cards now." The bald man smiled wretchedly. The others did not speak. The dealer standing at the side immediately said, "Everyone is here. We can deal now. Before we deal, please place your bets." The smoking auntie immediately threw in 1,000 yuan worth of chips. Then the bespectacled man threw in his chips as well. Huamin and the bald man threw in their chips at the same time. They had a total of 4,000 yuan worth of chips. When they called out their cards later, it would not be lower than 1,000 yuan. It seemed that they were not playing very well. It was not an exciting scene that would determine the winner or loser. "Okay, we'll deal now." After the dealer finished speaking, he put on his white gloves and started to deal the cards. Card stud was relatively simple. There were 28 cards in total, 8-9-10 JQK. Then they would compare the big and small cards. Everyone would start with 2 bottom cards that only they could see. Then they would give out 3 name cards that everyone could see. Finally, they would compare the big and small cards. Huamin was not very lucky. The 2 bottom cards she got were 8s and 9s. If both cards were 8s, she could get 3 8s and blow it up. However, it was really unlucky to get an 8 and a 9s. Huamin noticed the smoking auntie. After she saw the bottom cards, the corner of her mouth curled up. She was very pleased with herself. Then the dealer began to give out the name tags. The smoking auntie's first name tag was K, the bald guy's was J, the glasses guy's was J, and Huamin's was Q. The auntie had the most chips, so she said, $3,000. Then she threw in 3,000 chips. The bespectacled man hesitated for a moment and finally said, "I'm not following." Then he put down his card and forfeited. Huamin threw in 3,000 chips and said, "Call." Baldy also took out 3,000 chips and threw them in. "Follow." In the second round, the woman got an ace, the Baldy got a queen, and Huamin got a jack. The auntie was the biggest again. She took another $5,000 and threw it in. $5,000. Chapter 513. Without hesitation, Huamin took out 10,000 yuan worth of chips and threw it in. 10,000, the surrounding crowd was in an uproar. 10,000 yuan was quite a lot. After all, everyone only had 100,000 yuan worth of chips. The smoking auntie was originally full of confidence, but when she saw how generous Huamin was, she suddenly hesitated. Her 3 name cards were KAQ, and her bottom card was A8. Huamin's 3 name cards were QJA, and her bottom cards were 8 to 9. Whether it was name cards or bottom cards, Huamin was bound to lose. However, the others didn't know what Huamin's bottom card was, and they only saw how brave she was to bet 10,000 yuan. The bespectacled man said, "This girl probably has a straight flush." A straight flush would be 89. 10 JQ or 10 JQKA or something like that. Therefore, when they saw that Huamin's name cards were QJ, they thought that her bottom cards were K and 10. "Ma'am, do you want to call? If so, please place your bet," the dealer reminded the smoking auntie. She hesitated for 5 seconds, then raised her head to look at Huamin. She saw that this little girl had a confident look on her face. Then she gritted her teeth, put down her cards and said dejectedly, "I'm not calling. I declare that this lady wins." Seeing that she gave up, the dealer pushed all the chips in front of Huamin with a ruler. Huamin won 14,000 yuan in 1 round and she was extremely satisfied. "What's your bottom card?" The auntie took one last puff of her cigarette, then threw it on the ground and stomped on the cigarette butt. She was somewhat unwilling to give up and asked Huamin. Huamin smiled, then used her slender fingers to flip over her territory. Once again everyone's jaws dropped. She only had 8 and 9. She had so much less than her opponent, yet she still dared to bet 10,000 yuan worth of chips. Wasn't she looking for death? What? 8 and 9. Auntie was so angry that she stomped her feet. If he had known that this little girl had such a low score, he would have followed her even if he was beaten to death. She had given up at the critical moment because she thought that Huamin had a straight flush. "How can you be so confident with such a low score?" The bespectacled man was also speechless. He looked at Huamin silently and asked, "My confidence doesn't come from my score. It comes from the fact that Auntie doesn't dare to keep up with me because she thinks I have a straight flush. Huamin carefully put away the chips in his pocket. He was in a good mood. I'm so angry. What a pity. The auntie complained. Baldy couldn't help but look at Huamin in admiration. Sister, you're so bold. Let's play another round. No, I have to change tables. You guys have already seen through my psychological tactics. What's the point of playing anymore? Huamin stood up with a smile. In fact, she wasn't afraid to continue playing with these people because they would still lose if they continued playing. Although they were older than Huamin, they were too impatient and showed their emotions on their faces. Huamin could basically guess the size of their cards just by looking at their micro-expressions. It wasn't challenging at all. He tried his luck just now, but his luck wasn't good enough. Fortunately, Huamin was smart and won with psychological tactics. Hey girl, you're so bold. Sit with me. Let's team up and beat them to death. Tang Chuan had unknowingly run behind Huamin to watch the game. To be honest, he was worried for Huamin. If that auntie was braver and bet 10,000 yuan, wouldn't Huamin lose miserably? This girl really dared to gamble. No wonder you liked her so much. She was indeed very likable. Sorry, I don't like to team up with others. Huamin smiled slightly and directly rejected Tang Chuan's request to team up. Then she walked to another table. This girl is so cocky. Tang Chuan's face was filled with disappointment. He was counting on Huamin to win more, but he wasn't very lucky today. He played 2 rounds and lost 2 rounds. If he lost again, he would probably be eliminated today. Huamin walked around and finally found Zhu Lingling. When he saw the chips under her eyes, Huamin almost fainted. Miss Zhu Lingling, you're going to be eliminated. Do you know that? Huamin helplessly reminded her as he sat down beside her. Chapter 5:14. I can't help it, I'm just unlucky. Zhu Lingling frowned. The organizers didn't allow anyone to help them, so they had to play by themselves. Therefore, Zhu Lingling became the first victim. She couldn't get Huamin to help her, so she had to try her luck. She didn't know if it was because her opponent was too strong or because she was just too unlucky. She lost less than 20,000 yuan in an instant. What should I do? Can you help me think of a way to turn this around? Zhu Lingling held onto Huamin's hand. There's nothing I can do. If you lose, you lose. It's good that you're eliminated. Otherwise, you really want to become the god of gamblers. Huamin thought that people like Lingling who didn't have any skills or high IQ should just play for fun. She lost, then she lost. It didn't matter. She could relax and be a spectator in the future. She didn't have to be so nervous or worried. But, the stupid cop will laugh at me, Zhu Lingling said worriedly. He won't, because his record isn't good either. He'll probably be eliminated just like you. Really? Wow, that's great. Then I won't worry anymore. Even if she died, she still had to drag someone down with her. When Zhu Lingling heard that Gao Ran was going to lose, she felt much more relaxed. Huamin turned around and stood next to Qin Chu for a little while. She didn't need to worry about Mr. Qin at all. She won a lot of money, while the other 3 players at Qin Chu's table lost everything. In less than an hour, he won over 300,000 yuan. Then Qin Chu stood up and hugged Huamin's waist. How was it? Honey. Only 14,000 yuan. Huamin smiled. It's okay, there's still an hour or so left. Let's go get something to drink. Then Qin Chu hugged Huamin and walked to the lounge area on the side and ordered 2 cups of coffee. Gao Ran and Zhu Lingling had already lost all their bets and were enjoying the view from the side. Gao Ran. That couple is crazy. It's not time yet, but they're already drinking coffee. Zhu Lingling, they are confident that they can win. They are different from us. Gao Ran, didn't you find time to hook up with a rich husband? Zhu Lingling, fishing my ass. My table is full of old men and old women. Gao Ran, hi Zhu Lingling, what the fuck are you laughing at? Does your mom know that you're so easily amused? Huamin and Qin Chu sat for a while and then stood up. Go. There's less than half an hour left. Let's play one more round and then stop. Huamin nodded and put on the black glasses. Then the 2 of them split up again. Huamin picked a table with more chips than the other 3 and sat down. This time the other 3 players were all young men. They were probably from rich families. Wow, a little girl. How interesting, one of them said. Don't sit here. These 3 are very good, a middle-aged man behind her kindly reminded her. Huamin turned around and thanked him. Thank you, uncle. But, I like to play cards with good players. It's very interesting. You have guts. Little girl, I admire you, a male player across from her said with a smile. Huamin didn't say anything. She just took out all her chips and placed them on the table. It wasn't much, just a little over 110,000, but it wasn't little either. Deal the cards. Time is limited, Huamin looked up and said to the dealer. She didn't want to chat at all. It was a waste of time. The dealer nodded and began to deal. Huamin was luckier this round. Both of her cards were KK. The man across from her was bigger and had 2 AA cards. The other 2 players had already forfeited. The chips on the table had reached around 50,000 yuan. This little girl is going to lose. Her opponent should have 3 aces, a spectator said calmly as he analyzed the situation. She was afraid that if she was too proud she would scare her opponent away. Her opponent wouldn't dare to place a big bet. Therefore she pretended to be very conflicted and successfully confused her opponent's analytical ability. The dealer used a ruler to push all 250,000 chips in front of Huamin. Huamin slowly took out her purse and put all the chips in it. Then she stood up gracefully and left the table. This little girl is so awesome. The other 2 opponents at the table exclaimed. Luckily they didn't follow until the end. Otherwise they would lose everything. Does anyone know her? Do you know who she is? One of the men asked. Because the people who boarded this time were all celebrities in the city, most of them knew each other. However, they had never seen this little girl who wore glasses and a Mickey Mouse sweater. Therefore they were especially surprised. However, most of them said that they didn't know her. This made her identity even more mysterious. When she returned to Qin Chu's side, Qin Chu had already finished the battle. He was sitting on the sofa smoking with $1 million in spoils of war. When he saw Huamin coming over, he immediately pulled her to sit on his lap with one hand. He was extremely doting on her. How much did you win this time? Qin Chu asked with a gentle smile. Chapter 5:16. Not much. Huamin smiled modestly. Not much is not much. Only 200,000 yuan, not even 1/5 of yours. I don't need too much, just enough for you to advance. It's no fun. Even if I advance, I won't be the champion in the end. Says who? Qin Chu asked with a smile. Of course, with you here I won't be able to win. Huamin pouted, looking like a wronged wife. I'll give you the championship. No, I want you to win. Why? Because I'd be happier if you won the championship than if I won it myself. Plus, no one knows who I am, so it's useless for me to win the championship. However, you represent GK, so if you win this championship, it'll be great for the company's future development and your personal reputation. You little brain, why do you always think so fast? How do you expect others to live if you act like this? If I wasn't smart, why would I have you as my husband? Huamin retorted. Then the 2 looked at each other and smiled. Not far away, Su Yu, who also won over 1 million yuan, silently watched them without saying a word. I say, you didn't have to come. You're not interested in being the god of gamblers and you don't care about the prize money. Why did you come here to suffer? You even got seasick. Wei Liao complained. Yes, you didn't see wrong, so you got seasick. But he still got on the cruise ship all because he wanted to see someone. Cut the crap. Su Yu said coldly, and then he turned around and left Cloud Hall with a dark expression. After 2 hours of competition, Gao Ran and Zhu Lingling were both eliminated because they lost all their bets. Some who won a little money were also eliminated, and the remaining 50 would compete in the second round tomorrow. Honey, do you know what we're competing in tomorrow? Huamin asked excitedly. Fight the landlord. Huamin, fight the landlord? Are you sure? Is there really no mistake? Huamin felt that it was a bit ridiculous. Wasn't it too low to compete in such a big venue? Who knows? I guessed. Qin Chu smiled. After returning to his room, Qin Chu took out his laptop and contacted Assistant Yang for a video conference. Huamin wanted to look for Ling Ling, but he suddenly wondered if he would disturb the couple if he went over at this time. Just as she was hesitating at the door, she suddenly saw Wei Liao walking towards her. Huamin, can you follow me to see Su Yu? What's wrong with him? Seeing Wei Liao's anxious expression, Huamin had a bad feeling. He was seasick and vomited a lot. Seasick? Huamin was a bit surprised. Then without another word he followed Wei Liao to Su Yu's room. Because they were all VIPs, their rooms were all on the most luxurious floor. They were all executive suites. Also, they were on the same floor, so after walking for a few hundred meters, they arrived at their destination. When Huamin walked in, Siyu was still leaning against the toilet bowl in the bathroom, vomiting like crazy. Siyu, I invited the god. Oh no, I invited the miracle doctor for you. After Wei Liao finished speaking, Siyu immediately came back to his senses. He was lying in the bathroom in a sorry state. He looked very weak and his face was pale. However, the moment he saw Huamin, his eyes flashed with surprise, although it was only for a short moment. Why are you here? He struggled to get up and took out a piece of tissue to wipe the corner of his mouth. I heard you were seasick. Huamin looked at him quietly. Siyu nodded, then picked up a pack of cigarettes from the sink and put one in his mouth. Before he could light it up, Huamin rushed over, snatched it and threw it into the trash can. What are you doing? Siyu was slightly surprised. Chapter 5:17. You have no common sense. I don't know how you've survived until now. Seasick people smoke because the smell of cigarettes irritates their senses and brain, making them vomit even more. Siyu, Wei Liao, I'd like to hear what the doctor says. Siyu, she's not a doctor. She's just a nurse, okay? Huamin, so you have the energy to insult me because you don't need my help at all? After speaking, Huamin turned to leave. Hey, I didn't mean it that way. Don't go. I'm really sick from seasickness. This was the first time Siyu had spoken so softly. He didn't really want Huamin to treat his seasickness, he just wanted Huamin to stay a little longer. Huamin stopped in his tracks and turned around in annoyance. He grabbed Suyu's clothes and dragged him to the big bed in the bedroom. Then he took out a bottle of essential balm from his little bag, dipped his fingertips in it and gently tapped Suyu's left temple. When Suyu's head touched Huamin's fingertips, he felt an electric current coursing through his entire body. That magical feeling, that feeling of nervousness, that feeling of extreme excitement. Ahem. I'll leave for a moment, Wei Liao said as he tried to leave. You don't have to leave, I'll take him out for some fresh air. Huamin tapped Suyu's right temple and dragged him out of the room. Less than 5 meters away from Suyu's room, there was a passageway that led directly to the deck above. Huamin dragged Siyu all the way to the deck and enjoyed the comfortable sea breeze. Sure enough, Siyu felt much better. If you're seasick, you can't eat too much food. You have to maintain a half-starved state. Also, you have to avoid irritating smells such as fish, prawns, and tobacco. Getting some fresh air can alleviate your symptoms. Later, you can ask the service desk to send some motion sickness medicine over. Although it doesn't have much effect, it's better than nothing. Huamin said a lot, but Siyu couldn't remember a single word. Because he was too focused on Huamin's profile, Huamin was no longer wearing his spectacles. His clean side profile was blown by the sea breeze, and the corners of his eyes seemed to have a different kind of charm. He had a crazy idea. He wanted to hug her and kiss her eyes. However, he didn't dare because he was afraid that once he crossed the line, he would never be able to get close to Huamin again. Do you remember what I said? Siyu, what are you standing there for? Huamin stared at Siyu and asked. No, nothing. Do you remember what I said? Yes. Repeat it to me, Huamin said sternly. Siyu, big sister, are you messing with me on purpose? How can I repeat what you said? I'm not a recorder, Siyu complained on purpose. Forget it, it's a waste of my breath to talk to someone like you. Huamin sighed slightly. Then he looked at Siyu and asked, I don't understand. Don't you know that you're seasick? Why did you come up? Do you have nothing better to do? Why did you join in the fun? You don't need money and the prize money isn't tempting to you, right? Ahem. It's purely a hobby, Siyu said on purpose. Are you a gambler? Huamin frowned and asked. No, I like to join in the fun. Huamin, Suyu's answer made her speechless. Joining in the fun was suicidal. Although she couldn't personally experience seasickness, she felt that it was worse than death. But at the same time he also felt that it was a fate worse than death. His heart, liver and lungs almost spat out. She felt like she was going to heaven. Oh, anyway, be careful. If you feel uncomfortable, drink some ice water to suppress it. Don't run around and don't eat anything. After speaking, Huamin turned to leave. Huamin, he suddenly called out reluctantly. Huamin turned to look at Siyu. Chapter 5:18. How much did you win today? In fact, Suyu wanted to shout out loud, Huamian, I like you, but he chickened out at the critical moment. Looking into Huamian's eyes, he forced himself to change the words he was supposed to confess to her into, how much did you win today? About 200,000. Oh okay. I'm going to go now. Call me if you need anything. After speaking, Huamin got off the splint. When Suyu returned to his room, he was in a surprisingly good mood and whistled. Wei Liao took a shower and laid on the chaise lounge with a smile. Did you enjoy seeing her face? Yeah, I enjoyed it. Suyu didn't try to hide it. Don't you know how you looked at her just now? What look? Suyu looked at Wei Liao in confusion. Like a wolf looking at a sheep. If I wasn't in the room, you would have pounced on her when she applied the bomb on you, right? Maybe. Control yourself. She's not your wife yet. She will be sooner or later. Suyu seemed to be full of confidence. I really have to hand it to you. Where did your confidence come from? After Wei Liao saw the relationship between Qin Chu and Huamin, he felt that Suyu had no chance at all. They were childhood sweethearts and had loved each other since high school. It was hard for outsiders to get involved. Mao Zedong once said that people should have dreams. What if they come true? Wei Liao froze. Did Mao Zedong say that? I won't pursue the matter if it was Mao Zedong or not. But, don't you think it makes sense? Tiu asked back. Wei Liao, I don't think so. Suyu, when Huamin returned to his room, Gao Ran and Zhu Lingling were there as well. Where did you go? I called you but you didn't answer. My phone is out of battery. Huamin lowered his head and took out his phone, only to find that it was switched off. She didn't want to hide the truth about Suyu from Qin Chu, but since Lingling and Gao Ran were here, she didn't mention it. After all, this was a private matter and it wasn't good for more people to know. Fortunately, Qin Chu didn't ask her where she went. Let's go to the bar. I heard that the waiters in the bar are all handsome foreigners. Zhu Lingling pulled Huamin away. Qin Chu and Gao Ran followed behind him. The four of them went to a luxurious bar in the middle of the cruise ship. There were many people inside. There was a performance on the stage. It was a pole dance. A Russian girl had a great figure and big breasts. Don't look. Before Qin Chu could look, Huamin reached out and covered his eyes. Huamin, aren't you being too strict? He can't even look. Gao Ran immediately felt bad for Qin Chu. No, he can only look at me. Huamin smiled domineeringly. Qin Chu hugged her waist lovingly and smiled. Oh my god, you're abusing me again. You're so annoying. Zhu Lingling turned her head away and drank her beer gloomily. Don't drink so much. Gao Ran reminded her. What, are you afraid that I'll rape you if I get drunk? Ahem. Gao Ran almost choked on his beer. Let's go girl, let's go dance. I don't know how to dance, Huamin replied. It's okay, just dance. No one will laugh at us. Then before Huamin could say anything, Zhu Lingling dragged her onto the dance floor. The loud music was deafening and Huamin felt like her head was going to explode. Just then a few men looked over from not far away. Hey, isn't that the girl who beat you at the Cloud Hall today? She has a great figure and is so cute. Yeah, I think she's cute too. She looks like a sweet, naive girl. She should be a student, the man who fought with Huamin said with interest. Then why don't you go? If you can't win at the table you can conquer her in bed. A few rich second-generation heirs laughed and talked about Huamin. The man who fought with Huamin under the encouragement of the other men, walked over arrogantly. Hey little sister, we meet again. He stood behind Huamin and greeted her. Huamin turned around and looked at him, but she didn't seem like she was going to say anything. Chapter 519. Sis, are you alone? The man's way of flirting was really old-fashioned. What do you want? Huamin looked at the man and was confused. I lost to you today but you're really good. Let's be friends. My name is Wang Hao. Sorry, I don't make friends with strangers. Huamin turned on his pretentious mode. We won't be strangers if we get to know each other. The problem is, I don't want to get to know you at all. What? Sis, are you going to fall out with me after winning my money? The man was a little embarrassed and began to speak in a strange tone. I think you're the one who can't afford to lose, so you want to settle the score? I can't afford to lose. Do you know who I am? Do you know who my dad is? If I tell you, you'll be scared to death. Before the man finished speaking, Gao Ran walked over. What's going on? Gao Ran and Qin Chu were not far away and were staring at them. When Qin Chu saw a stranger approaching, he couldn't stay calm. He wanted to come over, but Gao Ran beat him to it. But it was good. After all, Gao Ran was from the municipal bureau, so it was easier for him to show his face. Seeing Gao Ran walk over, the man was stunned. Then he smiled apologetically. Hey, isn't this Captain Gao from the municipal bureau? What a coincidence you're here too. Gao Ran glanced at the man. Wang Hao, you didn't have enough fun in China, so you came to the yacht, right? It's not illegal to be on the yacht, right? Alright, is this pretty girl your friend? She's my sister. I'm sorry, I didn't recognize you. I'll leave first. I'll treat you to tea another day. It's okay, I'll treat you to tea, Gao Ran said with a hidden meaning. The man was so scared that he ran away. Of course, he didn't want to go to the municipal bureau for tea. Who is that person? Did he run away with his tail between his legs like a dog? Zhu Lingling laughed. He's a small entrepreneur. His father used to be a member of the local tax bureau. He's a little rich second generation. However, this kid is not doing his job properly. His business is almost bankrupt. He's often detained by our city bureau because he gathers people to gamble. He's a crazy gambler. I heard that he lost more than 20 million in one night in Macau last year. In the end, he didn't even have a ticket to come back. What a wastrel. Zhu Lingling sighed. Humin, are you alright? Gao Ran asked. It's nothing. I played with him at the same table during the day and won a lot of money from him. He's probably here to pick a fight. Not anymore. He knows who I am. Humin nodded. Then the three of them returned to the table at the bar and drank cocktails. What a pity that Hu Xiqian didn't come to such a grand occasion, Gao Ran suddenly said. He's never been interested in gambling, Qin Chu said faintly. Yes, he's interested in women. I heard that this kid is very, very perverted. He's looking for a woman every night. His desire is frightening. I don't know if he's really that strong or he's on drugs. Gao Ran laughed. You're so disgusting, Gao Ran. How dare you say such dirty things in front of us? Zhu Lingling pinched him hard. Don't pinch me. It hurts. It's not a big deal. Humin has been through this before. He's already married. What doesn't he know? But I'm still single. You're not married, so you know more than other married people. I'm not even hesitating to expose you. Just stop and take a nap. Ahem. Zhu Lingling felt awkward and didn't say anything else. Humin hugged Qin Chu's arm and listened to the bar singer's English song. He seemed to be in a good mood. Wifey, Qin Chu said in a low voice. Yes. Humin looked up at his handsome face. If I lose to Su Yu in the championship, will you be disappointed? Qin Chu asked in a very low voice that only the two of them could hear. Chapter 520. Why did you suddenly ask that? Humin thought that his question was a bit strange. Nothing, it's just a casual question. Of course you won't be disappointed because there's no way you'll lose to Su Yu, okay? You have that much confidence in me? Qin Chu smiled. Of course, because you're Humin's husband, so you have to be invincible. Qin Chu reached out his hand and lovingly stroked Humin's face, as if he couldn't get enough of it. After a while at the bar, Humin began to feel tired. He suggested that they go back, so everyone followed him. On the way back, Zhu Lingling suddenly asked, Girl, you're not pregnant, are you so sleepy? Upon hearing this, Qin Chu and Gao Ran both froze. Then they looked at Humin. Ahem. No, my period just ended a few days ago, okay? Oh, you scared me to death. I thought you were going to give me gifts again. Gao Ran patted his chest. Look at how useless you are, I'd rather give you gifts. I want Humin's child to be born as soon as possible, and I even want to be a godmother. Zhu Lingling rolled her eyes at him. Then I'll be the godfather, Gao Ran immediately agreed. Qin Chu faintly said, You two are so passionate, why don't you have one yourself? Why are you counting on us? Ahem. Gao Ran violently coughed. Zhu Lingling. Humin smiled and pulled Qin Chu's hand back to their room, not letting him tease the two clowns anymore. You must be tired, go to bed early. Qin Chu patted Humin's head. Honey, before I went to the bar today I was actually looking for her. You don't have to explain. It's okay. You have your freedom and I believe in you. Qin Chu didn't let Humin finish his words. He gently reached out and placed his hand on her lips. Then he turned around and filled the bathtub for her. Humin was deeply touched. What else could she ask for in her life? The next day when everyone woke up it was already noon. After lunch, the organizer announced that the second round of the competition would be held in the White Jade Hall. Today's competition was even crueler because 48 people had to be eliminated. Only 2 people were left, and the god of gamblers would be decided on the last day. As soon as the rules were announced, everyone started complaining. Come on. Huamin clenched his fists and cheered for Qin Chu. Then he led Lingling to another table. Gao Ran, on the other hand, became Qin Chu's temporary assistant, pouring water for him and staying by his side. He walked around and found that all the other tables were occupied. He frowned. Zhu Lingling pointed not too far away and said, "Girl, look, there's an empty seat over there." Huamin walked over and found that the people sitting there were Su Yu and Wei Liao. No wonder no one dared to sit there. No one dared to offend Su Yu because he was not someone to be trifled with. Originally, Tang Chuan wanted to sit with them, but Wei Liao chased him away. Wei Liao said that he wanted to see if there was anyone brave enough to sit at their table. Today's game was Do Diju. It was a 3-player game, so there was only one person missing. Huamin walked over and saw that it was Su Yu and Wei Liao. For a moment he didn't know if he should leave or stay. "Do you mind if I sit down?" Huamin slowly asked. "By pleasure." Wei Liao immediately extended his hand to welcome him. Su Yu looked at Huamin and didn't say anything. However, his eyes were like that of a young man in love for the first time. It was so passionate. Zhu Lingling lowered her head and whispered into Huamin's ear, "Big sis, let's change tables. These 2 are not to be trifled with. Wei Liao is fine, but the Su family's crown prince has a bad temper. If he loses to you, will he flip out?" "He won't. Let's sit here." Huamin smiled slightly, then calmly sat down. She had attracted a lot of people to look at her, because in the eyes of others, this seat was not to be taken. No one dared to sit there. However, Huamin, who didn't care about his life, directly rushed up. So, those people waited for a good show. After the cards were dealt, Huamin looked at his cards and calmly said, "Call the landlord." Chapter 521. Not stealing. Su Yu said in a muffled voice as he held the cards. Wei Liao was just about to say steal when he saw Su Yu give him a look and immediately stopped. "I won't steal either," Wei Liao stuttered. In the end, the landlord successfully went to Huamin. 456789110. Huamin played a dragon. "Pass." Su Yu only said one word. I will also pass." Wei Liao looked at the card in his hand and said with difficulty. Huamin could tell that something was wrong with Wei Liao, so he reminded him, "You don't have to go easy on me. This is a competition, not a friendly match. Just play your cards normally." "I'm not going easy on you. I really can't control you," Su Yu explained. "Yeah, I really can't control you." Wei Liao gritted his teeth. He had already decided that after helping Su Yu flirt with girls, he would definitely go to Su Yu's mansion after they got off the boat. He wanted to see if there was anything he could scam him with. Otherwise he would have suffered for nothing. 3 leads 1. Huamin played another card. Pass. Pass. Wei Liao followed Su Yu's footsteps. Huamin felt that things were going too smoothly, so he took out a bomb and said, "For twos, pass." "I'll also pass." Wei Liao continued to feel wronged. "Didn't the 2 kings pair up? Why didn't you do anything?" Huamin felt that something was wrong, so he looked at Su Yu and asked. "You don't have to control me," Su Yu explained. "I don't believe you." Huamin didn't wait for Su Yu to speak before he went up and spread out the cards in his hand. The dealer quickly stopped her. "Miss, you can't do that. It's against the rules." "It's okay. He's my friend," Su Yu explained to the dealer. Huamin took a look. Su Yu indeed only had 1 Xiao Wang. It seemed that the other one was in Wei Liao's hands. Thus Huamin easily won the round and won 100,000 chips. "I don't want to play anymore." Huamin didn't want to play the next round because Su Yu and Wei Liao gave in to her too much. It wasn't fun. "What happened? You guys are too insincere. I'll change tables." After saying that, Huamin threw down the chips that he was supposed to take away. "Your chips," the dealer reminded him. "I gave it to him." Pointing at Su Yu, Huamin said domineeringly. After Huamin left the table, Su Yu slowly pulled out another king from his sleeve. He did have a pair, but he didn't care. He was just that stubborn. Wei Liao glanced at Su Yu and laughed. "You rich people sure know how to play. You even took apart 2 kings and hid them. Your flirting skills are unparalleled. Suyu smiled and didn't say anything. He picked up the 100,000 chips that Huamin left behind and felt very happy. Hey, what's going on? Oh, why do I feel like something's wrong? You and Suyu seem to have something going on? Girl. Zhou Lingling wasn't stupid. She noticed that something was wrong and asked mysteriously. What do you mean something? The strange thing was Huamin didn't care what the uncle played. Hey, do you know how to play landlord? He's the landlord? If you don't care about him, why do you care about me? The uncle was a little angry. I don't care about him. If you play a dragon, then I'll care about you. The uncle was speechless. Suyu was speechless. In the end, Suyu won with a bad hand. Huamin and the uncle each lost more than 50,000 yuan. After one round, the uncle was successfully eliminated. The dealer glanced at them and announced, "You two will face each other. This time it's 20 points." When Huamin heard that he had to face Suyu for 20 points, he was slightly surprised. The person who advances will be the second winner of tonight's game. Tomorrow he will compete with the other winner for the championship, the dealer said. Only then did Huamin realize that he was already in the middle of a crucial game with Suyu. It seemed like Qin Chu had already swept his opponents and won. 20 points, do you want to play? Suyu smiled. Since his opponent was Huamin, he was in a good mood. He probably didn't smile as much as he did today in an entire month. Not far away, Wei Liao and Tang Chuan began to gossip. Look at our Lord Su's mouth, it's about to reach the top. Isn't it just playing cards with Huamin? If it's a date, wouldn't he go to the heavens? Tang Chuan joked. Our Lord Su is spending a lot of money to make a beauty smile. Just watch, he'll definitely lose to Huamin, Wei Liao guessed. Suyu. Huamin called out in a low voice. Yeah. Don't go easy on me this time. It's a fair battle. Before, Suyu lost to Huamin on purpose. Huamin also helped Suyu on purpose, so they were even. Therefore, Huamin thought that it was better to be fair this time. Otherwise, it would be boring. If the card she sent out was a jack, a ka, and a 1, then it would be a full 20 points. If it exceeded, it wouldn't be a big deal. He would lose anyway. Zhou Lingling thought that with Huamin's adventurous personality he would definitely take a gamble. But this time he didn't. She glanced at the cards and said, "I've lost." Then she gave all her chips to Suyu, got up and walked away confidently. Suyu flipped over the card in the dealer's hand. The next card was an ace. In other words, if Huamin continued, she wouldn't lose. He understood Huamin's personality. Any one of the 4 cards would have been fine. With such a high probability, she shouldn't have given up. Thinking of this, Suyu got up and chased after her. He blocked Huamin's path. What? Huamin looked at Suyu. Didn't you say it was a fair competition? Why did you admit defeat? Suyu asked unhappily. I didn't. A loss is a loss. Impossible, you should have continued. Did you know that card was an ace? But I don't want to bet anymore. I think I lost, Huamin said word by word with her arms crossed. That's impossible, that's not your style. Don't say it like you know me very well. Huamin looked at Suyu seriously and said in an unfriendly tone. Tell me, why did you do that? There has to be a reason. Suyu was very serious and insisted on an explanation. You want a reason? Yeah, I'll tell you. Listen carefully. Huamin put down her hands helplessly.